Chris Level here with another edition of Patriot Talk right there. We skipped last week, had a bit of a holiday week. My man Coach Sexton busy coaching these boys up and everything like that. So it's been a minute, so we'll try to recap a couple of weeks of Patriot football and Patriot athletics. May talk some volleyball with Coach Sexton a little bit too. So hopefully Caitlin Anderson will be okay with Joe speaking on her behalf because Caitlin's been busy winning, no doubt. Yeah, doing her thing. Going back to 2 weeks ago, JV, really good night. On that Thursday night, about a week and a half ago, I guess, as we sit here and talk. Your JV team, kind of a first home game. It was at Pirate Stadium, but a home game is what we're going to call that one. And then your freshmen are at Post that night. Two pretty convincing victories, and
it was a good night for us.
And I thought you had to have been pleased with both outcomes, certainly.
Right. First off, I was really happy to see the freshmen get a win that night. They went down and played, obviously, their best game of the year.
Against Post, yeah. Played
Post and won 34-0. Had a great night. Really liked to see all the kids walking in. I stayed around and waited till they got back, and they all walked in. They all had smiles on their faces, and it's good to see them smile. So they had a good night. I knew the score, but I really knew what happened whenever they walked in the building. So they were bouncing off the wall.
They the freshman team had a rough week the week before, and so
right.
that's what's fun for coaches is just kind of watch kids see the process pay off
right.
and
have success,
get a result. Yeah, that you're looking for, and your JV team played a Randall team, and Randall's got a big time tradition with their program and all that, and it just one of those games that kind of started off and just kind of steadily you just kind of pulled away. He played really well.
Well, that's kind of how Coach Newton and Coach Tolliver like to operate. Especially Coach Newton. He really challenges the offensive linemen, and they respond. And our offensive linemen, I feel like right now are really heads and tails above what I was expecting to have, and they're having a great year. They're picking up the offense, and Coach Newton has got lots of different calls for them, and you can see them in practice making calls, and trying to get into the right play that they need for each situation. So it's really fun to watch those guys operate. I try to go down and watch them during practice quite a bit.
And with a new school, that's always the biggest concern, honestly, really at any level of high school athletics. Do we have enough big people? It doesn't matter the sport, typically, unless it's like we're talking track or something. But in most of the team sports, do we have enough height? Do we have enough size? Do we have enough bulk on the interior or in the paint, if we're talking basketball, whatever it may be? And with a new school, that was kind of a concern. You had no idea how many just big people you were going to have.
We had a ballpark idea, but
yeah, but you don't know until you know.
We don't know until the first day of school and they walk in the door.
So. Yeah, that's right. And that's arguably the most important position group on the team because all these play calls and all the things going on, none of it matters unless you have big people that are willing to do the dirty work.
If you follow our Twitter, I put out lots of stuff on Twitter about offensive linemen. O-line and D-line, just like you said, you're not going to be successful without those guys. And we have both groups right now that are playing really good.
And you and I share this. I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but I bet we have the same favorite all-time offensive lineman that plays for a team that we both root for, that he could lift so much weight that the bar would bend. He came from a small school and has as much respect without saying anything. And anybody watching this, if you're our age, you maybe know who this is. But I haven't mentioned this name, but I bet I know who Joe Sexton's going to say.
Let's go Larry Allen.
Yeah, that's right. Bingo. Nailed it. Yeah, and like he was as in a way unassuming, but as assuming as anybody that, and then like it was a tone setter. He spoke. It's like, which wasn't a lot, but you darn sure going to listen because he would pick you up.
He's kind of what my picture of an offensive lineman is. never got a whole lot. I mean, obviously he's in the Hall of Fame, but didn't get a whole lot of press. But he
Didn't care either.
Didn't care. I mean, he went out every day, did his job. Punched the time clock. Whatever you want to call it. And
Punched defensive linemen legally.
Yeah, I mean, he was a stud for sure, and that's kind of what I would really like to model our offensive line over. Obviously, we don't have anybody that big, but just that type of work ethic and the humbleness that he had.
Yeah. Yeah, and he could have a little tobacco spit coming down in the middle of a game. He could. I mean, there's just no tell. But some of the weight room stuff that he would put on was of legends. I mean,
I've got a little clip that Coach Quentin made for me that I'm about to throw out there, and it's a Larry Allen clip.
And I promise you, we haven't talked about any of this. I just know how Joe and I are similar in a lot of ways, and I knew that would be his favorite dude because he's my favorite guy too. So let's skip to last week. Results. We have Lubbock, right here in the hub city right here, and then we send the JV boys one way, and you send the freshmen the other way, and Lubbock's just still sitting there in the middle. But the Patriots were far and wide, right?
Well, that's kind of
so Bushland and. Which is about 30 minutes outside of Amarillo.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then obviously the JV guys were at Midland Christian. So
well, it's going to be like that this year. We knew that we were going to have to travel a little bit if we wanted to play games. So unfortunately, our freshmen are going to have to travel a little bit more than our JV is. Still trying to, maybe move some games around at the end of the year to try to help that situation out. But when we start playing district football next year, our, freshmen and JV JV and varsity are going to have to travel a lot.
You're going to have to get your mind right there, Coach.
Yeah, we're going to have to change that way of thinking.
Your schedule's going to change literally. Your weekly routine's going to change a bit. Yeah.
Well, when the freshmen, and we've talked about it before, that they really never had to travel very much, and
just in town.
Just in town, over to Friendship, Irons, places like that, Lowry Field, but they're going to have to learn how to travel, and this was our first big road trip, this year with our JV group, and went down to Midland, and then it was hot.
Yeah.
I mean,
shocker.
Kids are coming off the field, and instead of putting water in their mouths, they're squirting it on their feet, trying to put out the fire because the turf was extremely hot, and a lot of things could have gone not our way, but I was very pleased with the way the kids competed. We had obviously something bad happen to us. We had a turnover, but it just seems like they always recover and just kind of get your car back on the road after something bad, and that's what we want. We talk about adversity all the time, and we've had our fair share of it.
That's all football is, though.
Right. Yeah, exactly right.
Football is a series of setbacks and how you deal with them.
And our guys are dealing with them quite well. Very, very happy with the way they handle it.
Yeah. And so the end result was, I think, 36-6?
36-6.
Yeah, and you felt like this was maybe the best team you have faced to this point.
I thought Midland Christian had some really good athletes. They had about 4 really good skill kids that we were worried about, and rightfully so. I mean, they were great players, and you could tell they were well coached, and so it was going to be a tough game for us. And kids went down, took care of business, and got us a win.
There you go. And obviously going to Bushland for the freshman kids. Bushland's very good at
everything.
Yeah, that's right. That's just kind of a sneaky powerhouse out there outside of Amarillo, and they lost a close one.
Right.
But I think you're seeing some improvement with these guys, even in a loss, because Bushland is. I've seen it on the girls' side of volleyball with my oldest kid, and I mean they're just kind of good at everything across the board.
Right. Freshmen go up there and played Bushland, and we knew they were going to be pretty good, and I think we were ahead 14-8 for just a little while, so we went down and played well, against them. I think the final turned out to be 33-21, which You know, we didn't get the win, but you know, watching the film, I saw some improvement there also.
And it's important to note this is an all freshman group, but you've got a ton of freshmen on the JV group, so it's not the same as they're playing against. It's kind of like a freshman group that's missing a lot of their classmates because they happen to be on the JV group. So I think that's important to note too. It's not the whole freshman class.
Yeah, we've had to move quite a few freshmen up to just to fill in spots that we needed on that JV team, and and a lot of those guys are making huge contributions.
Yeah.
JV,
they are.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a couple of running backs that
Yes.
I'm a fan of that are certainly doing that. Okay, you mentioned adversity and dealing with everything. You had a period of several weeks when you started practice on July 31st, if memory serves. Cooper Middle School was kind of your home, and then when school starts, it's like, okay, we have this period in school, but we're having to get them on a bus and drive over to Cooper Middle School and practice and then come back to school. It's just a big.
Well, it's pretty time consuming during the day,
I'm sure you handled it great though. You were just smooth sailing and like, this is fine and all. Yeah.
The kids were the biggest part of that. Yeah. I didn't hear any complaining out of the kids. Coach, why do we got to get back on the bus? Never heard any of that. They just come down, we check roll, we go get on the bus, and off we go, and just go out and take care of business.
And you don't have a lot of time, like once you get on the field, like it's got to be like,
So once we get down to Cooper Middle School, get them dressed and get them out on the field, you're down to about maybe 40 minutes, something like that. So
gotta make it count.
Didn't have a lot of time to mess around once you get down there. And same thing after school. If you've been out on around 4 o'clock and on Woodrow Road, you know what the traffic is like. So, it's some days it would take us 35 minutes to get 30 minutes at least to get to Cooper Middle School.
But coach, it's just like, I don't know, a couple
3
miles down the road. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, but no, it's
like
once
you get to Indiana, it's a
problem.
You're on like LA traffic right there. So.
That's right. If you're listening out there and you have anything to do with that and you work for the county, widen the road, people. I know that's in the plans. I know that, but we need to shift that movement into overdrive here. We could use a Quaker Avenue right there to Liberty. We need a little widening of the Woodrow and all that stuff. But I keep being told it's county stuff.
It's coming.
I'll stay in my lane, pun intended. But I believe now you've kind of moved over the operations now just strictly running out of Liberty, which has got to be easier on you guys. Still some inconveniences, but you're working toward that, which makes
it's another hurdle that we've crossed. Let's see. Thursday night after the game, told the kids after the game was over that we didn't have to go to Cooper Middle School anymore, and
it was like this cheering.
Oh yeah, they loved it. We really appreciate all the hospitality that everybody at Cooper Middle School extended us as far as letting us take over locker rooms and fields and stuff. It was an inconvenience on everybody, not just us. So we appreciate that. But, told them Thursday night, no more. So Friday morning during the athletic period, we drive over last time, load up, move all of our stuff back to Liberty. So we're in locker rooms in the basement of Liberty right now. Of course, Liberty's surrounded by dirt, and we got rain last night. So we're trying to figure out how we can get them to the field without,
getting mud all over your brand new field.
Getting mud all over the place. So.
Right.
But it's, we moved weights this morning. They're probably doing it right now as we speak, trying to get our weight room set up downstairs. So, there's a lot of good things that are, happening. So we're happy about that.
Yeah, and you knew it was going to be a process, but kind of nice to be on this side of it now.
Yes.
You can leave those buses in the parking lot now. Just
we're going to talk about it next year and go, hey, you remember when we had to drive all the time? So
short-term pain, long-term gain.
Yeah,
that's right. So we'll move on to some other things here in a second, but obviously freshmen at Pampa this Thursday. So we've got another
big
road trip.
Big road trip.
And a tough game for those guys. Hopefully, but and I hope those kids are enjoying that time on the bus because that's really what it's about. that they will remember games and results years from now, but you mostly remember the time with your buddies on the bus and like traveling to and from and all that stuff.
Hey, do you remember when we drove to Canada for that football game?
It may feel like it to those guys. Coach, where are we going? Coach, we there yet?
there yet.
Coach, how far is Pampa? Actually, it's a long ways out there, so be ready. And then another home game at Pirate Stadium this Thursday night at 5 o'clock. Abilene Cooper comes into town, and so that'll be a big one. We are going to broadcast that. You'll have some commentating on the YouTube channel if you can't, for whatever reason, be there. Hopefully weather cooperates. It should be a cooler week, I think, for the most part. I think even seeing some highs of some 60s mixed in this week, so you can kind of start to see the seasons change a bit, and which pleases,
we're all ready for that.
Pleases everybody. Not unless you're a big fan of watermelon and watermelon season, like my man Coach Sexton is.
I could do that year round.
Okay, all right. The cooler temperatures suffer the. Yeah.
I could use some 70s and 80s for sure.
Okay, all right, that's right. But Abilene Cooper would be a tough matchup for you guys.
Right, they're a 5A school, so they've been pretty successful down there. So, Lubbock Cooper, he plays those guys, and I think they're in town. I think one of their JVs. The other JV is going to play over at Coronado. So they're all coming up this weekend.
Okay.
So
okay. That's good. And then, safe travels to the freshmen going to Pampa. But again, 5 o'clock Thursday night. And we will offer up some broadcasting for that on the LCISD YouTube channel. Real quick, haven't had a chance to. She's just been crazy busy, and I think doing a lot of winning and everything. But Caitlin Henderson's group, volleyball group, one of the best teams you've got initially on this campus.
Sure, no doubt.
They've been rolling lately. They have a monster game against Friendship. I think what's that?
It's Tuesday night.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's our first responder
We're taping
night.
this on a Monday morning, so okay.
Yeah, so we're always excited to watch those girls play. The guys, we're going to let them out of practice early Tuesday so they can get over there, and we always have a huge following, huge student section. We'd like to get more students. A lot of our football kids are there all the time. Really appreciate those guys, and it doesn't take a whole lot of our persuading,
convincing, yeah,
to get them.
It's kind
there.
of become a thing to do.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted to set up. Our culture is support everything, and the boys do an awesome job of getting there for the girls. And I've had lots of emails over the last few weeks of just how happy that the community is that our boys are there watching the girls play.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those volleyball kids. Girls have been showing up to the the football games too.
Well, it's only right. Those girls are always going to come to football games. So, like I said, we don't make them go, but they're there.
Yeah.
And they want to be there. They want to see those girls succeed, and they're good too.
Yeah, yes they are. It's a 6A team going against a 3A, but I think Caitlin's girls, those lady Patriots, I guess we call them, they'll be just fine. So anyway, yeah, go check out Coach Anderson's team, JV and varsity games. I guess at
I think JV starts at 5 and
5 and
varsity's at 6.
Yeah,
Yes.
at
Over at Laura Bush.
which is kind of the temporary home. But getting closer, I hear rumors of some practices going on at Liberty. In the gyms, I also hear some rumors of some bleachers and some different things being close to being delivered. So it's getting much closer. Work continues there with scoreboards and all kinds of things going on there. But you're not too far away from her being able to host some home games.
I think after we get her district schedule started, I think we're going to get some games at Liberty.
Break the seal on that. That'll be fun.
That's another hurdle we're looking for.
Yep.
It's just, like you said, it's just a series of things that we're
Process.
It's a process for sure.
Yeah.
But the girls, they were extremely excited to get in the gyms and start practicing. They didn't have to travel anywhere to practice anymore. So they were pretty excited when we let them know that.
And it's not too far off. You can it's still way off into the distance a bit, but it's not too far off. And basketball games will be going on, and those gyms will, hopefully host maybe some playoff games for volleyball. So
Yes, I think so. And then I'm pretty sure we'll have some Cap Rock basketball games in there. And
around Christmas, yep.
the way the gyms are set up, when you go in, there's a glass wall that separates, both gyms, so you can stand up on the mezzanine or whatever you want to call it, and you can see both gyms, and you can, if you've got teams playing, you can watch both games at once. So it's a pretty cool setup over there.
I completely agree. It's gonna be fun. Can't wait to when it's unveiled and you guys.
Right.
Okay, so we'll kind of wrap up here. Real quick though, always throw a little curveballs at my man Coach Sexton
All right,
here.
fire them at me.
I asked Chip this question last week on his show, but I like to do three things. So 3 words in your playbook that are your favorite words that you don't have to tell me what they mean, but football plays, there's all kinds of craziness. They all mean something. We don't want to know what they mean or anything, but you have 3 words that are fun for you that are in the playbook, whether it be offense or defense, that because there's all kinds of names to play calls, but there are 3 that stick out to you.
Well, there's 2 for sure. California.
Okay.
Not for the reason that, but it's one of my favorite plays in the whole wide world.
Okay.
It's
And you don't have to give anything away. But
no.
Okay.
And anybody that's listening probably knows that's one of my favorite offensive football plays.
Okay.
And gosh, on defense, there's
you could have given me, a million guesses,
yeah.
and I would not have come up with you saying California.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Coach Newton uses names and cities and states for a lot of his offense, and that was one of the first things that.
There's some context clues on that I would think that I maybe could put together on kind of what that means. I'm not gonna go into that, but okay, what else?
Coach Tolliver likes to use quarterbacks for some blitzes. There's a Manning.
Okay.
That
Omaha.
That kind of that makes me chuckle a little bit. When I hear that. When I was coaching defense, I didn't use cities and states and names and like that. I always had something else. But it's fun getting to see these 2 guys come in and install all their stuff and all these little words that they like.
Yeah, because it's its own language,
right?
And it means something. And sometimes you can have 3 or 4 words in there, and they mean something to different people.
We've got Odessa, and we've got Lubbock, and we've got Dallas, and so it's
okay.
And it's fun to see the kids pick it up. The kids know it.
Yeah.
And it's just a simple one word. They hear the word Lubbock, everybody knows what to do.
Okay.
Or they hear the word Dallas.
And it doesn't matter how exotic you get. If you can't relay it to kids, then it doesn't really matter how.
Right. Well, after last night, Dallas might be one of my favorite words after watching those guys play last night.
That's right. Okay, 3 favorite vegetables.
Well, green beans. I'm a big green bean guy.
It's pretty straight down the.
Oh yeah, I like green beans. Actually, I do like broccoli, but we got to put some cheese
ranch
or
something. That's a consistency thing with me. Broccoli and cauliflower. I know how healthy it is for you, but I feel like I'm eating a tree. I just can't do it, man.
And then corn on the cob might be one of my.
Oh yeah, that's
also.
a layup.
Yeah,
that's good. And then I know that you love, your candy corn. You kind of littered my office with it last week.
Don't think that was me.
That's what I was told by a lot of folks here in the office.
Since I'm not over here anymore, people blame stuff on me.
I know. There's candy corn all over my office. You get the blame for that. I know you love hot tamales. What are your do you have anything like on the opposite end of the spectrum? Like, okay, I can't. This is candy or like a little treat. I can't stand it. I do dislike it greatly.
Peeps.
Like the marshmallow deal?
Yes, those are awful.
Most people are like, there's no middle ground there with
no.
That's the Easter kind of treat, right?
The little sugary.
Oh yeah, it's gross. Terrible. Yeah, if you want an entertaining 10 minutes, Google like what like Peeps microwave and all that. Google that and see
there's I've tried to like those things, but
I know
I
don't even try to like. Yeah.
Nah.
Okay. Well, what else? Anything else that you just despise?
Those things. What do they call them? Circus peanuts.
Oh yeah, those orange kind of
Orange,
styrofoam
yeah.
looking things.
No,
That's
those are
nasty.
awful, too.
Golly, yeah. Well, those are easy things to dislike.
There's not
really.
many things with sugar in it that I
Don't
won't
like,
try,
okay.
but those two things are definitely pretty bad.
Okay, all right. Okay, we'll wrap it up here. Again, 5 o'clock on Thursday night, Abilene Cooper Pirate Stadium. The ticket links, I think Coach has sent that out on Sports U.
Right.
We will be broadcasting that game on the LCISD YouTube channel. As we
Also, have some ticket links out for the freshman game up
and
in
the freshmen
Tampa
going to Pampa, yes. And then if you're into the volleyball thing, make sure that you're out there Tuesday night. Big matchup with the Friendship Tigers for the Lady Patriots on Tuesday night at Laura Bush, 5 for JV, 6 o'clock for varsity. So anyway, busy week, man. Kind of 'tis the season, right?
Right. And
Yeah.
it's going fast. All of a sudden, we're on week 4.
That's why I said a while ago, like it's not too far off. You can kind of see basketball season off into the distance. So 3-0 is your JV team, and you've got 6 more games, 5 more games on the schedule.
Yes, 5 more, and I'm pretty sure we'll get that 6th game at the end.
Okay.
So.
But it'll play in 9 total.
Right,
Yeah,
9 total
yeah,
games.
Yeah.
We're going to take off week 11 at the end so we can get some basketball started.
Okay. And we'll get into
Kind of
that.
get a jump on basketball season.
Okay, because that will be a varsity sport.
Yes.
For the boys' side, and then obviously girls as well. So, well, Coach Sexton, appreciate it, man.
You bet.
Good
Thanks
stuff,
for
man.
having me.
Yes, absolutely. Always. We will do this again next week. Kind of recap the week that was. This has been another edition of Patriot Talk. Chris Level, Joe Sexton, Colton Coons behind the camera. Thank you for watching.